Good morning, everybody. I was so close to sitting down on time. Oh, camera's way off. Oh, light's not on. Oh my gosh. I was so close to sitting down on time, and then Roro had to go for a walk, which was kind of felt personal because she was like laying down asleep on the couch while I got dressed and everything, and then I sat down at my desk to paint, and she's like, actually, I have to go out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters to paint here. I think we'll just start on this side and work our way across because I'm right-handed, so that makes sure that I'm not like putting my hand in wet paint. So we'll start with this gal today. I'm excited to paint her. I did already spray my paint, so good job me. Felt like I was really questioning my life choices today because I set my alarm 15 minutes earlier. It's been set for 5:15 and I set it for 5. I did hit snooze once this morning, but then I got up after that, so pretty good. But I sat down, and the first thing I always do in the morning is get my coffee and then sit down and I journal. My goal is to do like 3 pages of journaling. It's a habit that I picked up when my sister and I did the Artist Way together. So I sit down, do my 3 pages, and then usually by that time Roro is up and we gotta do her morning routine, and then I sit down to paint. But this morning I had the thought when I realized, I got an extra few minutes because I got up earlier. I was like, oh, nice. That's like 10 extra minutes. And I just had this moment of, like, it hit me as like, am I the kind of person who's excited to get up early? Not just like a bit earlier, but like get up at 5. Am I that kind of person? And I feel like, at least from my perspective, people who get up early, like 5 o'clock early, that's always felt impossible for me for most of my life. The idea of just voluntarily getting up super early always felt like such an extreme thing. Because I do love my sleep. I never really struggled with getting up early. Like if I had to, I could. I know there's some people who just like, if they don't have an alarm, they would sleep till noon every day. And I was never quite like that, but like voluntarily getting up at 5 always sounded mythical to me, but here I am, gradually working my way towards that. And I know early mornings are not everybody's, cup of tea, so I'm not here to be like everyone should get up early. In fact, one of the reasons I like getting up early is because it feels like nobody else is up, and so I don't want everybody else to get up early because that'll ruin it. I mean, I'm kidding, kinda. But even though I've never been really an early morning person, I do know that I have always liked to have a nice, slow morning routine. I have always felt very stressed if I have to just get up and like get in the car and go to work or go to school or whatever it was I was doing. That has always like made my entire day feel stressed. Like if I don't have my slow routine with my coffee and some morning reading or drawing or journaling, if I don't have that, I just feel so rushed and stressed the whole day. So that's kind of like, that was actually the primary reason I started getting up early. It's because I needed that long routine to feel calm. I almost want to put her in brown. Like I have this idea, a little backstory. She's sort of somebody who like lives on the mountain, like out in the woods. Crazy, not crazy, but like eccentric, wrestles with bears type of character. I kind of want to put her in like neutral woodsy colors, but then I'm also trying to push myself to do more bold colors. What a conundrum. He's wearing green. I don't want to put her in green next to him. Or would that look good? These are the questions I'm grappling with. So yeah, my first initial motivation for getting up super early was just because I need 1 to 2 hours to wake up before I can go show up at work and do anything productive. I really struggle if I don't have that wake up time. So that was the initial motivation for this early wake up time. But then, as you guys have been seeing in this video series with my art, I've incorporated this sketchbook practice into my morning. And this actually came from the morning pages that I do. And that's part of the practice that you pick up if you do the Artist Way, that book, you know, by Julia Cameron. In that book, something that you do as part of kind of connecting with your inner artist is you journal daily, at least 3 pages. For me, I make it exactly 3 pages. Like I wrap up that 3rd page, we're done. And that practice has become very automatic. There are definitely weeks where maybe I don't do it, but for the most part, it's just I wake up, I get my coffee, I sit down and I journal. I don't even consider it. I don't even like debate about it. It's just pick up that pen and start writing. And I noticed how like I have filled multiple journals now because of that practice. And it gets easier and easier to do. And not only that, but it's such an integral part of my day, of my morning, that I really notice it when I don't have it. And that was one of the motivations behind incorporating this sketchbook session into my mornings, is because I would like art to get to that point. I would like art to get to the point where it's automatic. I've talked about that in previous videos. I don't think about it. I don't think about whether or not I'm going to do it. I just sit down and I just do it. And I want it to get to the point where it's like, oh, I haven't drawn in a day or two. I need to draw. I need to sit down and do that. I want art to be on that level in my life. Like it's a fundamental part of my day, a foundational part of my day. And in case you're like, I could never draw daily, I am not talking about doing like grand, really impressive, complex drawings daily. Like you guys are seeing what I'm doing in these videos are like these tiny, tiny little drawings, you know, the size of my pinky. And I'm just working on those for 30 minutes each morning. I don't say that I want to produce great art daily or make groundbreaking art daily or add to my portfolio every day. Like I do not have that goal. My goal is simply learn to show up for art every day, learn to, you know, kind of communicate through art, through daily practice. I just want to immerse myself in a little bit of art each day. Nothing grand, nothing too showy. We just, you know, social media, a lot of good things came out of social media for artists, but I think one of the many downsides of art, of social media and its effect on artists is we now, like when you go online, because everybody can kind of present a filtered, curated version of themselves. I think we sometimes get the impression that artists are making great art every day. Or like every time that artist, whoever it is that you kind of admire and look up to, every time they sit down, they make something amazing. And that's just is the appearance of social media. And so then when I think about sitting down to practice every day, there is part of me that's like, it better be brilliant. I got up early for this. And it's just not always going to be brilliant. It's not always going to be impressive. It, frequently might not even be something you want to share with everyone. I think for me, this practice that I'm working on, the sketchbook practice, because I also want to turn it into videos, what I'm doing is I'm giving myself like these drawings, these concepts that I think already look decent, so I can share those and not worry about it too much. I think these are okay to share. But I definitely have lots of drawings that will never see the light of day. I am very deliberately choosing to put acceptable work out there, and anything that I feel like is not great, you guys aren't gonna see. And I don't think that's being fake. I don't think I'm being like dishonest by not showing my worst work. I think it's okay to treat the internet like a portfolio and put your best work out, but it does sometimes result in, when artists do that, it results in people thinking that that is the kind of art that they always make. It's always their best. It's always a good portfolio piece. And it's just not. It's just not. And I don't think these are necessarily portfolio pieces, but I think they're okay. Wow, I really, really like this purple on this green. I don't know why, but it's really her torso. I'm just really happy with the painting quality. I don't know. Sometimes you just get something that just clicks. It just clicks. And I feel like this whole color palette here is just, it's not what I would typically pick, so that is exciting, and I think it's working, which is double exciting. And I feel like I only felt comfortable trying out this color palette because I've done so many other paintings on this spread that this one painting didn't feel like a big deal, so it felt like I could experiment. Like if I just one day, after not painting for like weeks, I had this idea for this character and I sat down to paint it, I feel like there would be so much pressure to get it right. And I don't know that I would have experimented with like this like yellowy green top with the brown skirt. I just don't know that I would have done that. And the purple shadows. I feel like this is the kind of like sketch that you miss out on if you only do art every once in a random while and it's always high pressure. I've talked about that before. I don't know if I need to go over it again. Anyway, I guess I was talking about kind of the morning routine that I've been setting up. One of the biggest benefits, actually, that I didn't really plan on, but it's the feeling that I have when I go to my day job after spending the morning in my journal and my sketchbook. I feel very full, like mentally and emotionally, I feel charged up. Because the first thing I did was give myself time and space. And I know that's hard. I know that's hard to do first thing in the morning, and I know it's hard, like if you have a really packed schedule with school, family, all that kind of stuff, like I know it's hard to just find time to sit and, be with your own thoughts. And maybe for you, it's not gonna be a morning thing. Maybe you need to set up an evening routine, where you kind of put away the phone, put away distractions, and you just, sit with your artist, creative self, and give yourself some time to get out the paints, the markers, the pencils, the journal, whatever. It's really, I don't think it's necessarily about doing it first thing in the morning, even though there's a lot of reasons I like doing that. I think it's more about the daily practice because you build like this trust with yourself. You learn that like you take care of you and then you trust you more. I feel like I want her hair to be like darker and richer, and now I can't because I just got it all wet with purple. Okay, this guy is pale, pale, pale. We went for, is he okay in his design? He's not okay, by the way. He's a villain. Anyway, so I'm actually gonna try and leave quite a bit of white on his skin tone because I want him to come across as like undead pale. And that's actually all the skin tone you can see because he wears black gloves. Boop. Okay, so he wears white. How do I want to shade this? I feel like there's lots of ways. I think I've talked about this before as well, but like trusting yourself to show up is what I've discovered anyway. The biggest battle you'll face when you are trying to establish a new art routine. Because art, if it's been your hobby for a long time, or it's just been something that you do, you know, when just everything is right, you haven't really pushed yourself, what you've accidentally done a lot, or at least this is what I've discovered, what you've accidentally done is frequently told yourself, yep, I'll do it, and then you put it off. So if you are, you know, an adult, it's probably different if you're younger. If you're a kid, little kiddo. But if you're an adult, chances are, you know, you're interested in art. Or let me rephrase, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. If you are an adult who is interested in art, chances are you have frequently told yourself, you know what, tonight I'm gonna get those art supplies and get them out and do some work. And then something has come up, or you've just been tired, or it actually like the supplies weren't any good anymore because they're so old, and you didn't do the art. There's a really good chance that that sort of like mental routine of, yep, I'll do it, oh, I can't do it, never mind, that's happened like maybe daily. Like depending on how often you think about art, there's a chance that you have just really, established through repetition, establish a routine of, yep, I'll do it, just kidding, I'm not gonna do it. And your mind and body pick that up. And you have to really work to untrain that, because now when you say, yep, I'm gonna make art, inside you, your mind and body kind of know that ain't the truth. And, it's almost like calling your bluff. You're like, yep, I will sit down and paint. And your body is like, no, you're going to sit down and watch TV. You're going to sit down and play video games. We know how this works. And it's really hard to retrain that because it's like a subconscious routine. Like nobody consciously is like, let me try to play video games instead of drawing. Nobody tries to develop that habit. It just sort of happens. And so then when you finally are like really trying to grow your art habit, you have this other habit of not trusting yourself that you have to undo, and it's rough. It's rough. Ooh, I don't know if yellow was a wise choice. I'm really distracted by this now. I feel like I like it, but I don't know if this is the right drawing for this effect. It's okay. It's okay, it's just a painting. Anyway, I think where I was going with that, my brain has scattered just a smidge. You have this habit of not showing up to undo. So I think the important part, if you want to establish an art habit, is to just practice showing up and just practice like doing what you told yourself you would do. And maybe even, like, I've heard writers talk about if they don't have anything to write or they're not feeling inspired or whatever. I have heard of writers who are like, I still show up and sit at my desk. I still sit in front of wherever I type, wherever I write. Like, I still show up, even if it means just sitting there for an hour doing nothing. I'm still going to devote the time. And I think that is the hardest part, is just learning to show up and be in that moment. I feel like I got a little off topic. But I guess all of that is to say, if you're trying to develop a daily art habit, I would think about, first and foremost, what time would it be easiest for you to actually show up on a day-to-day basis? Like, what time can you guarantee committing to? And just for me, it is 6 a.m. Anything beyond that, I feel like it's hard for me to commit to. It's hard for me to, stay consistent with. 6 a.m. I can do, apparently. Well, I'm a little baffled as to why this seems to be my life now, but here we are. All right, I'm just gonna do his hair. I really like this guy's design. I'm really excited to draw him in the comic. He's something else. There's a sheath back there. I didn't really have a plan for that. I'll go ahead and do gold, I guess. Be curious to know your guys' thoughts on daily drawing. Feel like it varies from artist to artist? Do you think like all artists should do daily? Do you think do daily? You think all artists should have a daily practice? Do you think no artist should have a daily practice? And if you had a magic wand or something, like, what would be your ideal daily art practice? I feel like I actually do like the idea of getting up early and drawing, even if I didn't have to. It just maybe wouldn't be this early. I once saw a documentary about a manga artist, and she would get up first thing in the morning and like go out to her vegetable garden and get a bunch of vegetables that she would like make into like a breakfast salad. And she would eat that, and then she would go do her art. And I actually really love that idea of like just going out to your yard, getting breakfast, and then going and drawing. I like that idea. Okay, I think I need to wrap this up. It's been kind of nice to just focus on two little, slightly more complex illustrations rather than, multiple tiny ones. Although I just realized his shadow that I drew is going that way and the light on him is going the other way. Well, nuts. It's okay. I really want to give him a red shadow. Oh my gosh, I super want to give him a red shadow. It's not like it's realistic anyway. Oh, that's intense. He's a bad guy, so it's probably blood. That's actually pretty messed up. Also doesn't look like blood. All right. You know what would be kind of cool? He's got like an under tunic layer here, and you know what would be kind of cool is if it was red. And the question is, do I make his belt red? Because that also might be kind of cool. I feel like that's going a bit far. That might be a bit much. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it white. Okay. All right, there's the two from today's session. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Oh, hello, little doggy. She heard me say goodbye, and she kind of knows that means the end of the video, I guess. Hi. Can you sit? Whoa, good girl. Good girl. Look at that tail go.